You got anything you want to say? Your hair looks nice under this light.
Thank you.
Why do you look like you're the same height as me?
Probably am.
Do you want to talk about Slender Man?
No, and I will go. Bye.
Bye.
By the way, my name's Dylan.
Bye, Dylan.
Jesus, just say bye.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be looking at one of the most iconic myths, legends, whatever you want to call it, of our generation, Slender Man. For those of you who don't know, Slender Man is this incredibly tall, very thin man who is said to stalk and abduct children. He is depicted as this supernatural being with these stretched out arms and legs. He is often pictured with a completely featureless face or with some kind of white gauze covering his face. And he is always pictured as wearing a black suit. Some variations of this story also have him with these tentacle things coming out of his back, but some of them don't. And one of the scariest things about this guy is the fact that he is so simple. You can't see anything of his face. He's just a stretched out being, and the fact that he's almost like a blank canvas. And so it's so easy to project your own fears onto something like that. Something's much scarier when you can't see what it looks like than when you can. The legend has it that Slender Man lives in woods or forest areas, and that he emerges from these wooded areas to stalk children, to abduct them, to kill them. Nobody really knows what he does with these children once he gets them. Legend goes, if you are to see Slender Man in person, then he will begin to hunt you down and stalk you, and he will not stop until he's got you. There have been many people who have said that they've seen him outside of their bedroom windows. Now, can you imagine how scary that must be to see a featureless man stood in your window? And if he holds out his incredibly long arms towards you, you will become powerless. The fear will still be running through your body, but you'll be hypnotized almost into walking towards him and going into his open arms. Some of the theories that people have about this is that when he gets his victims, he either absorbs them into his own body, he kills them, or there's another theory that he takes his victims to another dimension. Either way, no trace of your body will ever be found. Now, this guy is said to feed off of your fear and off of your paranoia. And it's said that he often stalks the nights, looking for half-open windows to find his next victims. So the question is Slender Man real? Car alarm. Come on then, turn it off when you're ready. So the Slender Man that we know of today, and the pictures that you see across the media and across the internet, all go back to 2009, where a forum on the website Something Awful ran a competition. And the rules of the competition were that you had to take a normal photograph and Photoshop it into something very creepy and disturbing. The more disturbing, the creepier, the better. So one of the forum users, known as Victor Surge, whose real name is Ben Knudsen, took a photograph and added the image of Slender Man as we know him today, with his stretched out arms, and placed him behind a photograph of children. And underneath he wrote a caption pretending that this photo was taken by somebody, and on this day that the 14 children had gone missing from this particular town without any trace. Now, the internet went wild for these photographs, and so they were shared and ended up going viral. Now, when they went viral, they weren't shared with the story of why it was created in the first place, and so a legend was born. The logical side of you would say, okay, that's disproven then, we know Slender Man isn't real. But actually, if we look back over history, there are reports of sightings of a very, very similar creature going all the way back to 9000 BC, when in Brazil there were some cave drawings found that depicted a very, very similar tall, long-armed, long-legged man leading children away. There are also very, very similar myths from different countries. Scotland, for example, has the legend of the dark man. Germany has the legend of the tall man. So is it possible that Slender Man does actually exist and the creator of these photos didn't actually invent Slender Man? Now, there are a lot of stories, if you go on the internet, of people claiming to have met Slender Man or to have proof that he does actually exist. There have even been crimes committed by people claiming to have done it because of Slender Man. One of these was a particularly high profile case where in 2014, two 12-year-old girls from Wisconsin stabbed one of their 12-year-old school friends. These two girls lured their friend into a wooded area with the purpose of killing her. They made out that they were going to play hide and seek, when actually what they did was they took her into the woods, held this poor girl down and stabbed her 19 times. And from what I read, one of the stab wounds was literally a millimetre away from going through one of her major arteries. After they'd finished attacking this girl, they went off and left her in the woodlands. Now, she managed to crawl to the roadside and flag down a cyclist and was able to get help, and thank the Lord she actually survived. I mean, that girl is incredibly brave. But one of the disturbing parts of this was that when the police arrested these two girls, they both said that Slender Man had made them do it. And they claimed they feared that if they didn't kill their friend, that Slender Man would kill all of their family members. They also said that they'd done it because they hoped that it would show Slender Man their loyalty and their allegiance to him, and that he would acknowledge that by coming and taking them to go and live with him. Now, I should say that both of these girls were obviously convicted of this brutal attack, and that they were both diagnosed with mental illnesses. One of the girls actually was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and they are both carrying out their sentences in psychiatric institutes. But shockingly, that was not the only case where people have become obsessed with Slender Man and have tried to attack on his behalf. There was a 14-year-old girl in Florida who set fire to her house after becoming obsessed with Slender Man. There was a 13-year-old girl in Ohio who had attacked her mum, again after being obsessed with Slender Man, and both claiming that they had been told to do it. So which one is it? Is Slender Man just a made-up person from a competition a few years ago? Or is there actually a supernatural being that hides away in the wooded areas, that stalks the streets at night, looking for its next victim? Let me know in the comments below which one you think it is. Is this the same thing that was depicted in those cave drawings in 9000 BC? Or is this something that popular culture has just taken and ran with? Either way, I would love to hear your comments on Slender Man, so don't forget to leave them below. Remember, if you haven't already subscribed, to go ahead and click that button and click the little bell so you get notified every single time that I upload, and I will see you all again very soon.